Hello again, friends. It's been a hot minute, and guess what? I have pots. Wait a second. That's not the right kind. I have those too, because I love me some pasta. But we're not talking about pasta today. I mean, maybe we will, but that's not the point of this video. I have what is called pots for short. Don't get too excited. I don't have any recreational drugs. I have what is called postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Yes, it's a mouthful. And yes, people ask me to say it all the time. And then when they say, is there a way to say that that's shorter? And I was like, yeah, it's abbreviated for POTS. And everyone's like, pot? I'm like, no. POTS. With an S. Plural. And then people just start going, oh, you have more than one pot. And I'm like, sure, why not? But, we're not talking about our little metal friend over there, or the pot that grows in plant form. We are talking about a dysfunctional autonomic nervous system, which is considerably less fun than pasta. So basically, my autonomic nervous system, which regulates things such as temperature, blood pressure, heart rate, respiration, all that fun stuff that's supposed to be automatic, does not work. So basically, for a simple explanation for those who don't know what POTS is, my blood volume and blood pressure are lower than the average person. So usually when a normal person goes from sitting to standing, their blood pressure will raise to get blood and oxygen to their brain, and then their heart rate will go up about 10 to 15 beats per minute. When someone with POTS stands up, their blood pressure often stays low and doesn't fluctuate nearly at all, and then the heart rate will go up by 30 beats per minute or higher to try to get blood and oxygen to the brain. But since the blood pressure is staying the same and the heart rate is trying to pick up that extra work, it can cause dizziness, lightheadedness, fainting, nausea, tunnel vision, anxiety, other abdominal distress, really so many things. And unfortunately, there is no drugs that are approved by the FDA to treat POTS. They can put you on beta blockers to kind of help with your blood pressure, but the thing about beta blockers is that they're kind of tricky. They can raise your blood pressure, which is great for someone like me who has really low blood pressure, but they can also lower it, and there's not really any way to guarantee what is going to happen until you start taking them. So I am not on any medication for my POTS. I just do the natural treatment, which is compression socks, lots of fluid, lots of salt, to pretty much intentionally give myself higher blood pressure. It works sometimes. Sometimes I feel like I can't get out of bed without the room spinning. So it really varies day to day, but POTS is a form of dysautonomia, and while people say it's a rare disease, it's not rare, it is just uncommonly diagnosed. Way more people are affected by it than doctors are aware of, just because it can often seem like so many other conditions. I was told it was just anxiety for years. Yes, I do have anxiety. I'm diagnosed with panic attacks. But I could tell that it wasn't just that. Anxiety doesn't make you dizzy 24/7 and make you feel like you're going to faint every time you stand up. So that was really a big sign that something was not quite right. So after advocating for myself for a considerable period of time, I finally got my neurologist to refer me to a neurophysiologist who did a tilt table test, which is when they have you on a table that is flat. Yes, this is mascara. It is just the closest thing I had by me. They test your blood pressure when you're laying down, and then the table is on like an electronic tilt kind of thing. So they'll sit you up and then test your blood pressure again. And pretty much every 30 seconds, they're like, all right, how are you feeling? And my answer was still dizzy, because I'm pretty much always dizzy. And then they put you back down, test it again, and pretty much you were just on a teeter-totter for an hour or so. So after you're on the fun tilt-a-whirl for approximately an hour, hour and a half, I think in total my appointment was probably 2 hours long with all the tests they ran. But after you're done all that, they have the doctor come in and he will analyze the trends of how your blood pressure and heart rate fluctuate and see if it matches up with the POTS diagnosis. In my case, it did. And trust me, POTS is like not an easy condition to live with, nor is it fun in any way, shape, or form. But when he said your symptoms and the results from the test that we performed are consistent with POTS, I was just so relieved that I finally had some sort of concrete answer as to why I was chronically lightheaded for the past 4 years. And he was the first doctor to not tell me it was all in my head and to believe that it wasn't just anxiety. And I thank him greatly for that. And since my diagnosis, I've just been kind of learning along the way how to live with and through a chronic illness, and it hasn't been easy. It's definitely been a lot of trial and error, a lot of one step forward, two step back kind of situations, but I'm happy to say that I have a diagnosis and I know what's causing my symptoms and I know what I can do to try to lessen them, and that means everything in the world to me. So I hope you enjoyed this little informational video. Join me next week and I will cover my other conditions that I have that are often comorbid with POTS, which means they often go hand in hand together. Next week I will be covering Chiari malformation, which is a malformation of the brain, and I will just give you a little bit of information on that, how it affects me, and just some things that you can do to kind of live your life with it, and not just live, but enjoy your life as well. I think I've finally come to the point where I'm not just surviving, I'm actually living, which is amazing. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next week for another video. Bye!